Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to FightNet Radio.
Yo, hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Lee Harvey Oswald, what's your name? I know how am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. You're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Nia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson Liddell.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to FightNet Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
Hey, I'm the king of the world! Hold it, you're not that crazy. I'm a bad man! I took up the world!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Hunter, Andrew Lafauche, bringing you really basically based on today, all the results of all of the boxing that occurred last night. Andrew is a writer. I am an asshole. That is the format of the show. Andrew will say something insightful. I will say something shitty. But you know what's really insightful, Andrew?
What's that, Lee?
Gift cards for the holiday season. Nice plug, right? Just type in Get Amazon Now, buy everybody you know gift cards for the holidays. Get Amazon Now. Just type it into your screen and then buy whatever you want. That's as simple as I can make it. You don't have to go to a website. You don't have to click on a banner. None of that horse shit. And your gift buying helps support this show. But I have come to the conclusion that people on podcasts don't buy shit. It's just me. I'm doing a survey. I think it's better for branding on a podcast. I don't think getting people to actually take action off of a podcast is a great call. But I digress. We're here to talk about boxing, and there was a lot of boxing yesterday. I don't even know where to begin. I guess theoretically the place to start would be in Australia, if I'm correct, Andrew?
Yeah, that was the first fight of the night. Yes, sir.
That would be a fat guy named Ruiz, taking on Team Parker, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm doing good. I watched every fight. I watched every one of them. I forced myself. So the first thing up, some of them were really awful. Parker Ruiz, for instance, was not that exciting to me. It was a short, fat, bad tattooed guy, Andy Ruiz Jr., against Team Tony Parker. And Team Tony Parker, who looks more like a middleweight. I mean, both of these guys, if they dropped weight, would be like middleweights. I didn't even understand what I was watching, and all I kept thinking was, is this literally the best the WBO could do?
Well, I mean, Lee, they're both undefeated. They've been fighting for years now, so you got to give them a little bit of credit.
Did they fight today, yesterday, or yesterday, tomorrow? I mean, how does that work? Did we watch them yesterday, today? They were so far away.
Look we didn't see the future. We're
you
clearly.
Sure? You sure that fight hasn't happened yet?
We clearly did not see the future of the heavyweight division Saturday morning between those two.
It was awful.
It was. I won't call it awful.
It was awful.
No, they threw a lot of combinations. You know, Andy Ruiz, the short arms really did not help him in this fight. He could not reach Joseph Parker. So when you look at his future in the sport, it looks grim. If you can't reach Joseph Parker, who's not, he's still 3 inches shorter than the rest of the big heavyweight champions in this division. I don't know how Andy Ruiz is ever going to land a punch.
Do you think it will affect the rest of Tony Parker's season with the Spurs?
He landed a lot, Lee, but he missed a whole lot too, and that was the problem in the fight for Andy Ruiz.
You know what? For heavyweights, they were active, but they
were very active.
Here's the thing: first of all, what the fuck was up with that scoring at the end of the fight where one guy had it for Ruiz? Like, there was some really wonky scoring. Like, I get the majority decision, but I think clearly Parker won that fight. And he tried. I'll give Ruiz credit. He tried. But are you telling me this is the number 1 and the number 2 for the WBO? Like, I would have probably have left the belt on Tyson Fury, to be perfectly honest.
Well, no, you can't, because Tyson Fury,
Why not?
because he's a mental case right now. The guy has drug problems, he has head problems. I'm not shut. No, I've told you many times, in the sport of boxing, when someone wants to start acting like they're mentally not fit, you got to get them out of the ring, Lee, because it's going to be a lawsuit on the promoter that puts them back in.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that. But he just didn't want to fight Klitschko.
That's why he was stripped.
Yes.
That's why he was stripped.
I get that. But, man, that was some... Really? That's the best the WBO can offer.
I don't know
That's
why.
all I kept thinking while I watched that fight. I just kept thinking, wow, this is the best the WBO can
HBO
do.
tried their best to make it seem like there was something there, but it was two smaller heavyweights that did not look promising. It just Joseph Parker threw a lot of punches, didn't seem like he had a lot of power behind him. Don't know how he's gonna do when he faces a bigger man who can knock you out, because his defense wasn't the best. I'm telling you, it looked like Ruiz was missing more punches on just his size disadvantage, maybe his stomach. Look, this is another thing, Lee, I've always brought up, George Foreman being the exception, because we knew George Foreman worked out. They used to show us this guy, towing Jeeps up mountains. How do you train for a 12-round championship fight, the biggest fight of your life, and still come in looking the way Andy Ruiz does? Like, if you look at their training sessions compared to the calories that they're taking in during the day, what does his mark have to be? Like, you get what I'm saying? They say boxing is the hardest sport you can train for professionally. It's always number one. Science does it. Olympics does it. All of the charts have always said boxing number one for training. How is it a man comes in looking like that in the biggest fight of his life? He looked worse than even a Chris Arreola, and Arreola has a few of those disasters of him telling his fans, this is the hardest I've ever worked out, I'm in the best shape of my life, and then comes into the ring and can't even keep his trunks above his waistline. That's what I kind of seen Saturday. And I've known this about Ruiz. I was asked to look at Ruiz a long time ago with some of the people that were running his career early in his career. And that's the only argument I had against him, was he doesn't look like he trains. This guy, skill-wise, has everything. Natural ability, he has everything. He has power. He has enough power in the heavyweights. He was knocking people out. Hand speed, he has some of the best hand speed in the heavyweights on combination punching that I've seen in a long time. But I didn't like his gut. Tell him to lose some weight. Get in shape. You only get to make this run as a professional athlete once. Why would you want to look like this? I don't know what it is, but I would like to know what the hell they feed these type of guys who train for the hardest sport in the world, yet look like they're got 2 or 3 people inside of them when they shouldn't. He at least has 2. There's 2 Andy Ruizes in there. I know you could take a lot of that fat off and make it muscle. If you want to stay in the heavyweight division, that's fine, but let's trim up.
I honestly can't believe you've dedicated that much time to a fat guy with bad tattoos.
Because Lee, he's naturally gifted. The kid has a lot of skill.
Naturally gifted at eating.
I know. No, I don't know what he must eat a lot, because if he's training,
dude, he should be a middleweight.
8 hours a day.
Legit. He's like 100
He'd be
pounds
fighting
away.
Andre Ward.
Yes. What the fuck?
I don't know. And he's not George. George was big, but when George was young, he didn't look like that at all. Let me take that back. I guess it's even kind of disrespectful that I'm comparing him to George, because I'm actually comparing him to like George's third comeback, right? Ain't
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, that's when George really started losing, getting really big, was when he was in his 40s. So kind of disrespectful, but that it is what it is, Andy Ruiz.
You're a big fat fuck.
Yeah, you gotta slim up. You gotta learn how to get on the inside, and
I want look, yesterday
he
was
should
the
have killed
tale
his
of-
body, Lee.
Yesterday was the story of big fat fucks who didn't want to lose weight for fights. I mean, that's the story. Like,
oh, you mean
got-
Molina? Yeah, coming
well,
in.
okay, we'll get to all of it. There are a lot of fights to cover. Let's move to England. First, we'll talk about Katie Taylor, who everybody is goo-goo about the Irish gold medalist, Katie Taylor. Ooh, she was on television yesterday if you wanted to see her. In a very unimpressive 6 rounds, she won. I wasn't impressed for her second fight. I realized they fed her nobody in her first fight. Why is everybody so in England, and why are they pushing Katie Taylor down my throat like she's the second coming of the coal miner's daughter?
Oh, maybe
Is that too much of a reference for everybody to do a Christy Martin reference?
Maybe she is. Maybe she just had a bad outing. This is her first fight. She might have had butterflies, Lee.
She's not hot, so she's not marketable. I mean, I don't want to be a dick about women's boxing, but you either box like Mini Tyson, right? Christy Martin was the baby Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Just went in and whacked the shit out of women.
And Wolf,
right?
and Wolf.
Or you are super hot and you take off your clothes and you box. That
I
seems
don't
to
know.
be women's boxing.
I don't know if you take off your clothes. You still got to have skill. You can be a pretty fighter. You still got to have some skill.
Tell me, do skilled fighters who are more attractive make it further in women's boxing?
Of course. No, we talked about yes. No, I totally agree. And I think I've said this before. I think women have sort of caught on to this and actually play up to the camera more, which is a good thing. I mean, why anything to get more exposure and a bigger paycheck? Why not? They're not asking you to take your clothes off. They're just saying, can you pretty up a little for the camera? So what the guys
I'm saying, can you take your clothes off?
No, well, that's Lee. you disgust me.
All right. Well, yeah. So says the guy with 5 kids.
Well, I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out. Daisy and my friend Mario and his daughter. We're at nationals right now in KC. They just took gold, Lee. They took number 1. So
very, and
so,
yes,
that's why I am against what you are saying.
Female fighters, and we've had co-hosts that are. We had the WBC women's lightweight champion as a co-host of this show for quite a while, and there was never a doubt in my mind that she couldn't beat the shit out of anybody. I was more convinced she was working security at her parents' restaurant during the day than she was cooking, but. Yeah, I couldn't see anything remarkable about Katie Taylor. I was like all hyped up about the Katie Taylor thing. She won the gold medal. She's this big bruising person. Her first fight was a big KO. Okay. They didn't move her up in skill level that much in her second fight. And okay, she cut her. I mean,
I think women's sports, combat sports to be more exact, is on a rise because of the MMA, and
well, certainly because of MMA and those girls.
And there's a lot of dads out here that love to think that their daughters could possibly handle somebody the way that these women do now, and that's why I think these girls that are pretty.
Whoa! You've got daughters?
Yeah.
I've got a daughter. Would you be more likely to put her in jiu-jitsu or in boxing?
No, in boxing. No. In boxing, especially with girls, you land a 3-punch combo on a girl. Because see, in my household, there is no you make sure they let you hit first. In my house, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know when you're gonna get into a fight. Why allow someone to hit you in the head? You take off. You hope for a teacher or principal or someone else to break it up. And that is what it is. And so I'm a stand-up fighter. I've never had a problem, Lee, of landing a 3-punch combination on anybody in the street.
Yeah, but you fought in the amateurs, dude.
But not that much. I'm more of a gym
You and I
rat than
both
anything.
know. How many fights have you seen in the parking lot of Raider Stadium?
A lot, Lee, and they're always on
Right.
their feet.
And how many go to the ground?
None.
How many go to the ground?
None.
Raider
go to
fans
the-
are all stand
no,
up?
They all stand up, and then someone breaks it up. And to be honest